I just had one of the worst experiences ever trying to buy a car on the Facebook Marketplace. Now, I drove 3 hours there and this guy tried to say that I came all that way just to joyride his car. And yes, I came prepared with cash in hand. Now, keep in mind, this guy did have some bad reviews on his Facebook page, but I decided to ignore it because I really wanted this freaking car. After about a week of going back and forth, I was finally able to go out there and see the car with cash in hand. Obviously, before I went out there, I asked this man a bunch of questions because I wanted to make sure there were no hidden surprises when I got there. I was told everything was good, but as soon as I get there, I pop the hood. The very first thing I notice is a chewed up belt. Now, he did have a spare belt in the trunk, but keep in mind, I have to drive this car 3 hours home. Regardless of all that, I still took it for a little spin. The car was driving fine, it was shifting good, but there was definitely something wrong with the brakes. Now, the brake pedal was getting super hard on me and I had to literally slam it as hard as I could to barely stop the car. Now, keep in mind, he didn't mention any of these issues in the conversations that we had before I went out there. Now, after I got back from my test drive, I plugged up my scanner and it did have a fuel pump code. Now, all of that is whatever. My biggest concern was the belt. Now, when I was there, the guy mentioned that the harmonic balancer bolt backed out on him once, and he also mentioned he put the belt back together with like a Loctite. Do I drive this car back home 3 hours in the middle of the night with a belt that's been chewed up and hacked together with Loctite? Now, I've always had some big balls, but not big enough to do that shit. Now, I was really close to buying this car regardless of all the red flags because I really wanted this thing. So I told him, let me go get some food and think about it. And after thinking about it, I decided not to take that risk. Honestly, I was still respectful and I kept my cool even though this guy didn't mention any of those problems before I drove all the way out there. Now, most people would have been upset that you didn't mention all those problems before I drove all that way, but I was still respectful. I tried to give people the benefit of the doubt. All I'm gonna say is Facebook Marketplace is full of special people. Now, the craziest part about this whole story is after I sent him that text message and I said, hey, I'm not comfortable driving this car 3 hours home, so I'm gonna pass on it. He goes on his Instagram and he posts my page and he calls me a scammer and he claims that I drove 3 hours there just to joyride his car. Bro, what? Let me know what you guys would have done in this situation.